Bucket lid, Teresa. Team bucket hat.
Do you like it when you're doing some of those individual drills with the linebackers and the guy is knocking your sunglasses off on you?
Yeah, that's fun. That's always when you know that that it was a good punch. Is I use that as a barometer when the sunglasses go flying off. That that they're doing it the right way. That they're delivering a blow and trying to transfer power to stop a guy's charge, and then in that case, the punt team and get out and cover. So, there's a lot of things that are carryover in this game that I want to try to remind our players and our coaches that that's why we go over the fundamentals, because it's not just about playing linebacker. It could be playing punt team where you have to go and protect, and then you got to go from an O lineman to a linebacker on a punt team.
How good was it to be back, Mike, out there first day, and how you think it went?
Well, it's great to be back. It's great to have the players back in here, the coaches, the energy to see some fans come out today. And then how it goes, it goes like it always goes. There's some good plays. See the way we ended practice, there was a great play. Then there's always going to be plays that you're going to want to coach and wish you could have back, and that you can get in there and try to improve on, and try to figure out the details of the play and continue to work and build on stuff. I think that's why you practice.
When Corey makes he had a couple drops, I guess, along the way, and then makes that catch with Dory all over him, does that say a guy's up and down in practice, or say, hey, he survived the 2 drops and made a great play, and that tells you something about him?
I think it just tells you that he has the ability to kind of go on to the next play. And the thing that I try to tell our football team is this game is not perfect. And I've said that before, but they put a diagram up there, and I've done it. You put a diagram up there, and it's got 11 guys doing different things. And then when you get out here and you snap the ball, sometimes it doesn't go that way. That's okay. But you have to, at some point in time, rely on your effort, your fundamentals, and then go make a play. And if you drop a ball or you jump off sides, you got to go to the next play. You can't worry about it. There's nothing you can do. And, in that case, we get down there in the red zone, and Corey's able to go make a play for us in tight coverage. It wasn't like Dory did anything, wrong. He just went and guy made a play.
Malcolm Butler's wrestling the ball away from Corey at the end of the one-on-one drills and punting it. That's the type of tone-setting play you want for intensity in camp?
Well, I think that's the camp and daily life. I mean, we want a bunch of guys that are competitive. And if you go out there and if they played pickup basketball, or if they played dominoes, or we played poker, or we played whatever it is, I want guys doing that. That's the type of guys you want to build a roster around, competitive guys, not just in a football drill, but in life. And those are usually the people that are successful and that are winners.
There's been a lot of talk about what it means that Taylor Lewan's here, but more than that, what does it mean that you have the same 5 offensive linemen that this team has had for the last 2 years? How does that help the transition into a new offense?
Well, I think that there's some continuity amongst the players, but, they're an improved group. I think they needed to improve. They knew that they needed to improve. And it's nice to have a guy like Dennis Kelly who can pop in there and be the swing tackle. And, that's a valuable position to be able to play more than one position. And, that group is continuing to develop. And I think Keith and Sully and Chandler's done a good job. And the thing that I'm most pleased with, I think, right now is that these young guys are trying to compete. Their heads are spinning. There's a lot of new plays. But you see the development and the progress from just minicamp with some of these young players. That gives you a little bit of hope, and that's hopefully that you can develop these guys is to be maybe contribute sometime down the stretch or whenever you need them.
Well, you can break things down into small pieces the way that defensive drill over there where you move them from station to station. Are you always looking for, or coach is always looking for a way to get things down to kind of the elemental level?
Well, the fundamental level. And then at some point in time you have to be able to, again, take the drill, the one-on-one drill or the individual drill to a one-on-one technique, take the one-on-one technique to the team setting, and hopefully that the more that you do that and then you get into the 11-on-11, those things become second nature, because what we found is sometimes when you just go out there and you play 11-on-11, those skills and those fundamentals kind of fall off. They're really good when you're concentrating on it and you're with a coach or you're, maybe with just a few other players, but then when you get to 11-on-11, you kind of start playing the game. Has a tendency to fall off a little bit, so that's why we continue to rep them.
You got a lot of long days ahead of you in camp. What do you want players to do with some downtime?
Well, I think all great players have a routine, a successful routine, one that's about getting up in the morning about the same time coming into work, whether that starts with treatment or starts with weightlifting or breakfast or whatever their schedule is, but they have a routine, and then they practice, and we ask a lot out of them of practice and try to get full effort and a lot of finish. and that they use the time in the afternoon to be a pro. And pros, get massages, they get worked on. They have, Todd and his staff is phenomenal. Use that time, use the people, use the resources, get rest, sleep, study, then come back here in the afternoon and put another couple hours in of good mental work.
How would you describe how the DBs collectively kind of led today and performed today?
Again, that has got to be a strength of our team. I've told Kerry, just don't screw them up. You got a bunch of first rounders and free agents and good players, just don't screw them up. But it's a competitive group. You start with a competitive coach and you go with guys and, from Logan and Kevin and all of them, all the way down to Malcolm. And really, at the end of the day, guys respect players that play smart and play hard. The smarter you play and the harder you play, the more respect of your teammates you have.
Stayed after for a long time. They were like almost conducting a seminar with some of the young guys. When you see stuff like that, did you do that when you played? Did you seem like the kind of guy that?
There were guys I was lucky. I've mentioned it before, to be with a group of guys with Pittsburgh Steelers that were great veterans that taught me how to be a pro early on in my career. You go to New England and you try to do that to the other young players, and then you see these guys taking some ownership and taking leadership and trying to take care of the younger guys at their position. It's good to see.
Is there anything at all that Taylor didn't do team drills today?
No, and that was by design. That Taylor, we had talked early on that he didn't finish. We didn't have him in minicamp, and so he didn't really finish the program, and we wanted to kind of see where he was at and make sure that he had been working and that his skill set after individuals and the things that he did is going to be ready to move forward to go with team. And when we feel like he's ready for there, that's his plan, and then we'll insert him back in there when John and myself and Taylor are comfortable that he's ready to go.
You thought maybe it wouldn't be until the contract is done. Is that a factor for you, or you want him in there when he's ready?
No, I want him in there when he's ready. I think that he's under contract, and again, we've got 90 guys, and there's usually a plan for each one of them. Put a lot of thought into it. Again, whether that be Jack, Richard, Phillip, those are the questions. But everybody's got a specific plan that John and I and Todd and the coaches all work through what's best for the player, what's best for us, and then we try to execute that plan.
You got everybody's fighting for a starting job, but you've got some spots, maybe inside backer, receiver, other spots across the offensive line. How do you go about finding out who's going to be your starter week one, and is there a timetable when you'd like to have a guy locked in?
Yeah, I think that everybody earmarks that third preseason game, whether it's then or it's before you enter in the season. I think that there's got to be some continuity amongst the starters, but it's a long season, and if you make this team and you're a starter or you're a backup, you better prepare like a starter all the time, because you've seen a lot of times in this league guys go down, and young guys or backups have to step up and they become starters real quick. And so that's the mentality that we've always tried to take, whether I was a player or with an organization, is that you have to prepare like you're a starter. There's going to be a lot of different lineups throughout the year and personnel groups and packages. So that's kind of, everybody's got to kind of be on call. We only got 46 guys for the game.
You like having a guy like Griff as part of your intern group who's been here and been part of this culture?
Sure. I think we believe in the internship program. We believe strongly in it. I think that that through a course of my career and a lot of guys' careers, people have given you a break, and sometimes that's all you need to kind of get in and be recognized as a coach. So we were happy to have him back with the other guys. Jeff Braxton is here working with the O-line. Pete Davila working with special teams. Diallo Burks is working with receivers. And then Abdul Hodge, a former player at Iowa, is working with linebackers. So we're excited about having those guys, giving them an opportunity to help our players, and we can evaluate them, and they can learn to be better coaches.
Especially with Matthews out, some of your undrafted receivers have gotten an opportunity, especially today, to play some. Can you speak to maybe their chances to impress with Matthews sitting out and getting the amount of reps that they are getting?
Yeah, I think that the one thing that we guarantee by being on a roster is that everybody's going to get an opportunity. So that's the first thing, is being able to recognize that you're getting an opportunity, do the most of it, make the most of it, do things that stand out. you know, those guys, those 4 guys in particular, have different skill sets. You know, I mean, you look, you got a big one, you got a small one, you got a fast one, you kind of got a quick one. So, you know, the more that those guys can do and the quicker they can develop, the better they give themselves a chance to stand out. And ultimately, special teams and their role in the kicking game is going to be vital.